Hello everyone, it's Coco Joe Long, or KLR, or KL Reviews, or Coco. I have been sickly for a while, therefore I apologise if that negatively impacts this video in any way. There's also a lot of small pieces of broken glass on the floors of this building. This video in particular is a series of answers to a list of questions that were originally created by a user named KidNamedJAC, spelt with a C, not a K. Or a C and K. I'm also responding to Lotus, who ended his video with a general call for people to participate. And that's enough for me to give directly interfacing with the community a try, even if my tone of voice and presentation are completely counter to what people expect of me. The point of these questions is to pick between two options and then give a reason for your choice. The link to the original video and a variety of other interesting responses is somewhere. If any of these questions have been distorted in any way, I apologise. It's because there's a game of Chinese whispers going around. Or the telephone game. The name changes depending on your region. I suppose it's time to start. Question 1. Anime or manga? Manga. I prefer to have complete control over the pace of the story, especially seeing as I'm a very fast reader. The development of an artist over time is also an interesting process, even if they don't always change for the better. That being said, there are absolutely things that anime can do to create fantastic scenes that manga can't, such as the use of colour or music. It's very obvious, but it's worth pointing out. I have commented on that topic before, and you can find that comment on another video, which will also be linked somewhere. Question 2. Ninjas or pirates? This is actually a really interesting topic. You see, while pirates historically date back to ancient Greece and the Danes were viewed as sea thieves during the 9th and 11th centuries, the golden age of piracy included privateers acting in the interest of their country, such as the English privateer Sir Francis Drake, who attacked and robbed Spanish ships in the years leading up to the Spanish Armada against England in 1588, which ended with a surprise, "You really don't care about this. You want me to talk about Naruto and One Piece." Well, pirates are selfish and legally qualify as enemies of mankind across the globe. I'm still not talking about One Piece when I say that. That is actually how pirates are defined under modern law in this world of ours, at least to my understanding. Ninjas are, from what I remember, Japanese farmers who were lashing out against their warrior class and the elite. So, ninjas. In the context of Naruto, ninjas can learn more than one type of ninja art. Most of them don't do that because that limits the uniqueness of the cast, but it can be done. They can also still swim, so that's a massive point in their favour. Question 3. Main character with a sword or main character with a gun? Most manga artists I've seen are able to draw the arc of a sword swing in either a really striking and interesting manner, or they're at least able to draw it in a way that makes sense. With gunshots, some artists aren't very good at detailing what is happening during gunfights. In anime, of course, gunfighting is much clearer, so sword is the choice I'd make, because they tend to result in more well-realised action scenes. Although, I'd really like to read a series about a main character who uses a hand axe, just for a change. Question 4. Soul Reaper from Bleach, or Hidden Village Ninja from Naruto? Well, there's more of a diversity between abilities and cultures among the ninja villages than there is in Soul Society, which would make for a more interesting world to live in, so it'd be much more interesting to be a ninja from a hidden village, even if you are a child soldier who may or may not have been forced to kill your own friends by the time you'd reached adulthood. Additionally, even inside the same village, there are wildly different powers to learn. Shikamaru's shadow powers are very different from Ino's mind manipulation, after all. Soul Reapers have the same basic skills, a unique ability, and a more powerful unique ability that is very similar in most cases to the first unique ability, and that's if they're very well trained. They also live for centuries, but they don't seem to be able to do anything except fight or starve in the slums. At least the ninja have different types of missions they can do to pass the time. The work purifying souls wouldn't suit me either. It requires a lot of interpersonal skills that I simply don't have. Question 5. Zanpakuto from Bleach or Devil Fruit from One Piece? Devil Fruits can be so bizarre and multifaceted that they tend to be more interesting than Zanpakuto. There are a lot of problems with Devil Fruits, but there's also a much more interesting variety of abilities. Even if you get a Devil Fruit ability that is terrible, you might be able to find a way to make it work. Also, eating a Devil Fruit alters the body, so you don't have to worry about misplacing the source of your powers. So, Devil Fruits, because I would very easily misplace a sword repeatedly. Question 6. Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo? Well, I own Cowboy Bebop, and I'm currently watching it again. I also prefer the style of animation and design in that series, so Cowboy Bebop is my choice. Although Samurai Champloo's opening theme is fantastic. Although it is strange that Steve Blum voices the main character in both series. Next question. Question 7. Fire or ice abilities? Despite Fire Force being something that I really enjoy, ice. Because it's less aggressive and you can use it on people without killing them. Frostbite is a problem, but it's also very threatening when you need it to be threatening. There also tends to be more variety in what ice ability users can do in comparison to their hot-blooded counterparts. For practical reasons, I could use ice abilities to melt the ice in my local area, clearing roads and walkways during winter, which would be very beneficial for a lot of people. Question 8. Goku or Vegeta? Goku. Because, as much as I like Vegeta, some of the worst situations in the entire series only happen because Vegeta's pride gets in his way. Goku isn't perfect, and overlooks a lot of very important details, but most of that is born from naivete. Remember exactly how Cell achieved his perfect form? That is an example of Vegeta making things worse for everyone. Although, the final explosion scene is so good, it was almost worth endangering the entire universe for it. During the editing process, I learned that in recent episodes of Dragon Ball Super, Goku might have accidentally ruined everything for everyone, everywhere. I have yet to watch Dragon Ball Super, but I can believe it. Now to continue on with the questions. Question 9. Haikyu or Kuroko's Basketball? Well, I've actually read one volume of Haikyu and it was excellent, so I prefer it by default. The positive first impression of that series is being weighed against no impressions at all besides from a clip of somebody palm striking a basketball so hard the ball ripples in slow motion. Which is still a positive first impression, but without anything else to support it. Not even a hint of interest in the sport of basketball, and it's not like I was interested in volleyball to begin with. So yes, Haikyu. Next question. Question 10. Orihime from Bleach or Sakura from Naruto? Well, Sakura learned how to defend herself and heal people. Orihime never figured out how to do both of those things. Sakura at least learned how to throw a punch. Even though Orihime was so good at healing that it was essentially viewed as spitting in the eyes of God and causality, although she only used her ability to the fullest once. So it didn't really matter that much. Yes, I know, she knows martial arts, that was also never expanded upon. I wish both Sakura and Orihime were more relevant to their plots. Sakura felt more important in more important moments, even if she did drop out of the story for a long, long time. In theory, they are both absolutely fantastic characters. In practice... Question 11. Hunter x Hunter, or Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm very slowly working my way through the Hunter x Hunter anime. While there are definitely parts that I really like, there are parts that I don't like. And I have watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho, so the best parts of that series stand out to me, and the less interesting parts are things that I can just overlook. I also like the 4 main characters of Yu Yu Hakusho a lot. While with Hunter x Hunter, I like 2 of them, am indifferent to another, and dislike the last one. So in terms of the main cast, Yu Yu Hakusho is much more enjoyable. Question 12. Light or L? Both of these characters are from Death Note. L. I like his mannerisms, although he should eat less sugar. It's not really good for him. Neither of these 2 people were particularly moral, but L's ability to do what he did without any real knowledge of the supernatural is commendable, but both are fantastic for what they are. Question 13. Edward Elric or Alphonse Elric, both from Fullmetal Alchemist. Both are great characters, so this is going to be difficult. Flip a coin. I have a pile of coins, paper clips, and USB flash drives under this microphone. Finally, this can be useful. Holding a coin right now. Heads means Alphonse. Tails means Edward. Edward, probably. I've never put much thought into it, as I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Both of them are fantastic characters, and neither would have been able to carry the story without their brother helping them along. Question 14. Historical setting or futuristic setting? Most of the series I really enjoy are either historical in nature or set in a world that is ostensibly historical. For example, Berserk takes place in a nebulous medieval setting. Most series that I like that aren't historical are contemporary but with futuristic or supernatural elements that completely take the series out of any time period I would recognise. And now for the final question. Question 15. A series with great characters and a mediocre storyline, or mediocre characters but a great storyline? This is difficult, because most series worth reading have good characters and a good plot, as both aspects flow into one another more often than not. I highly doubt writers think of these things as separate entities when planning out story arcs. I have to choose great characters with a mediocre storyline. And I'm of the opinion that a strong cast is what makes a story, especially a long-form story, which is the case for most manga. Comedy series live and die based on their characters, as do romances and slice-of-life stories. Vagabond is nothing without its characters. Without them, it's a series of well-drawn fights with no depth, no parallels, no development, and no meaning. Berserk would just be a collection of monsters without any human elements or strong characters. My Hero Academia is a very normal shonen story, but it's executed very well and has a fantastic cast, which is probably the series' biggest success in my opinion. On the other hand, there is a very popular series that has a very interesting premise that also unfortunately has the problem of having a very poorly defined world and characters who are either utterly disgusting or so short-sighted and foolish I don't feel bad when horrible things happen to them. In fact, if the villains weren't equally unlikable, I'd be supporting them over the main characters. As such, I stopped watching the series round about episode 9, and I have no desire to read the original manga. I won't say which series it was. If you want to guess, you can try, or you can ask if you're really that interested. So characters are more important, at least that's what I think presently. So those are my 15 answers. I hope you enjoyed this video. Lotus tagged the entire human race, because that's the scale of his charisma and his influence. So I'll ask some individuals that have probably already been asked because other people would have been interested in their opinions. Otaku Joe, Archangel Manga, and the Anime Corner. I'm trying to strap tags to them. Let's see if they notice me. Or is there another meaning to the word tag that I don't understand? Is it related to wrestling in any way? Thank you for watching, and have a very pleasant evening. Good night.